Good morning. I looked in the camera at myself and I didn't even recognize myself. I don't know if it's the readers or the curly hair or I don't even know who I am anymore. Do you know who I am? Maybe that's why I'm doing these, to just try and figure out who I am. So last night we flew to San Francisco. San Francisco is where I was born and where my 94-year-old mother still lives. And 6 months ago, we had planned this trip um, to come see her. And we didn't want to cancel because life is precious and we must live it to the fullest every day. But we got in at 1 in the morning and we are at a massage business, I guess. So we came up 2 flights of stairs and there's a hallway with all these rooms with numbers on them. And the pictures that were on the Airbnb are not where we are. We are in one little room with no bathroom in a hallway full of massage rooms. So Airbnbs are fascinating. Life is fascinating. Um, so we got about 3 hours of sleep. And then this morning was our condo update for the first time, our Zoom update since the hurricane hit over 3 weeks ago. And it was hard. It was good. They had the engineers on. It's hard to listen to people that weren't there or people that it's not their home, that they're worried about rent. And I get it from their clients, but for those of us that feel homeless and it's our home, it's devastating. For people that have just seen it or heard about it saying, oh, yeah, it kind of looks like a war zone, when we lived through it and said, it is a war zone and it's horrible and horrific and painful. And we're grateful to be alive and we're grateful no residents were killed. And it's amazing. But two sad updates today is, number one, they hadn't even considered those of us, which is about 10 condos that are full-time residents. They hadn't thought about that or getting us our stuff quicker, but now they might. Two, that there will be 1, 2, and potentially 3 assessments of us. And being that we just lived there 11 months and our association fees are not low, it's hard to hear there's going to be 1, 2, and possibly 3 more assessments. 3, we are still waiting to see if we have our condo for November and December. And a couple of us asked today if owners were priority and if when it's realistic to consider coming back. And they said definitely not through the end of this year and most likely not through January. So that is hard. And it's hard to stay positive, but I'm going to go have breakfast with my mom and I'm exhausted, but I'm grateful Greg and I made this trip. It's important. And, a lot of people say I left my heart in San Francisco. And I remember on an occasion, my mother would say that. And, I never really knew what that meant. And obviously, she loves San Francisco. I'm not a big city girl, but she loves it here. And Matthew, our oldest, loves it here. And my sister Catherine, the one that passed away in July, loved it here. But I was just thinking about on my flight last night that my mother, when she said I left my heart in San Francisco, makes more sense to me today than it ever has, because 60 years ago she had a beautiful daughter that she placed for adoption, believing that was the right thing to do. And she always wanted to come back here so bad. And I can't say for sure, but I know that that was a big part of why she wanted to come back, and maybe a wondering in the back of her head if somehow she would walk down the street and walk by this daughter that she had 60 years ago. And today that daughter, my sister Michelle, is in our lives, lives in Florida, and God has just began to heal that loss, loss and longing that was left in San Francisco that now lives in Florida, and that my mother has gotten to meet twice and gotten to meet her son. And I have met, I think, 4 or 5 times now. We've spent time together, and she was my rescuer for Ian, but it didn't work out because the roads closed. So time heals is the point of that, is that 60 years ago, my mother made probably the hardest decision of her life, and it's probably always been sad for her, but time heals. And I know that time will heal this season of homelessness, this season of unknowing. And I'm so appreciative for my association and the company they've hired for all the work they are doing. And the most important thing is to be safe, but it's really hard. It's hard to not feel like you have a home or you know when you will again, that unknown. I like change, but like all of us, I like change that we have a deadline or we know. And I think this is why I prayed for patience a lot, and God always answers our prayers, just not always the way we want. And so today I'm working on patience, I'm working on positivity and gratitude, but I'm also allowing myself to be sad and know that it's hard. And I know when my good intended friends say to me, at least you're alive and count your blessings and at least you this and that. Thank you for trying to be encouraging. Know that that doesn't always help. That sometimes I just need a safe place to be sad and to be able to reach out and say, hey, this is really hard and it sucks and it's not fun and it makes every simple thing challenging and stressful. But I know your intentions are good, so I thank you for that. And I think I shared the other day, but I can't remember that my inspiration for the work I do, the speaking, is Nicole Johnson, really. And she's a dramatist with Women of Faith, or she used to be. She's written many books, but she's done many skits from 5 minutes to an hour about different things we walk through in life, whether that's a divorce or a diagnosis or dysfunction or distress or aging or whatever. And Nicole Johnson is amazing. If you need some inspiration, I think if you Google her, you'll find some of her videos on YouTube. And really, she's who I aspire to be like as a speaker. So, but she does one called Into the Ring, and it's about being diagnosed with breast cancer and all the things people say and how you learn to just smile and lie because it's so hard, but you don't want to tell everybody how hard it is. And people say it's just your breasts, and at least you're going to be alive, and at least this, and at least they caught it early, and you look good. And they all mean well, but it's not always helpful because she says, you're right, it's just a breast, but it's my breast. And it's easy to say, at least you have a home, or at least you're alive when you're going home to your home. But when you don't have a home, when you don't have stability, when you don't know how the story ends, even though you know there'll be healing with time, and even though you're grateful for every prayer and to be alive, I think it's okay to also allow yourself to be sad. And I know a lot of people talk about mental toughness and grit and be strong, but I like to talk about mental compassion, empathetic to our emotions, allowing us to feel what we feel without apology, allowing us to be sad, to take breaks, to curl up in a ball and cry. And though people think I'm strong and resilient, and I am, I was thinking yesterday, I, I see a lot of naps in my future. I see a lot of I will get up and try to get back to a routine starting Monday or somewhat of a routine. But every day I will give myself grace and space to be sad, to rest, to acknowledge the challenge and the ongoing challenges that we are facing. And yeah, and today um, I will go have breakfast with my mom, and I'll be grateful to be in San Francisco, and I'll be grateful that healing comes on the journey. And I will be fascinated that we're at a massage parlor as our Airbnb, and the pictures with the bathroom in your room don't exist. I had to try opening 10 doors last night to find the bathroom. There is a bathroom though, so that's good. Um, Greg said, I found one that we don't have to share the bathroom. I don't think that's true. I think we're sharing the bathroom, not only with other potential Airbnb people, but people coming to get a massage. So we share because sharing is caring. And when you grow up the middle of 7 kids, you know how to share. So anyway, um, yesterday I think was 3 weeks since the hurricane, and today is 3 weeks since we came out of the storeroom. And it's challenging and it's good. And I am here and I am grateful, but it is hard. I hope you have a thriving Thursday, and I don't know what that means, so maybe share with me. How are you thriving today? I love your comments. I love your encouragement. And I hope more than anything, you can accept that this is going to be hard for a while. It's not going to be easy. So thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.